So welcome everyone. Um, it's so nice to be here with everybody today. It's good to see some, I would say familiar faces, but at least some familiar names. And see that you're back again this week and that this has been helpful to you. Um, it's an interesting time, right? Things keep moving forward. The challenges keep compiling, so to speak. Um, and I was working with the group that I've been leading for so almost 8 years now, the Mindful Mondays group, which is a University of Richmond thing. And anybody's always welcome to that. It's Mondays at noon. If you ever want to be involved, you can reach out to Leah. You can reach out straight to me. I can put my email address in the chat room. There are students, faculty, staff, alums, like a couple of community members. There's all kinds of people that show up for Mindful Mondays. We've continued it, obviously, since we've been remote in COVID, and it's just gotten stronger and stronger. I think it actually has more accessibility now. So I'm looking to, oh, thank you, Leah. I didn't realize we were private. Um, I'm looking to also figure out a way to continue that being online, even as we move back into the full swing of things, because I'm going to be doing that in the classes that I teach as well, like my first year seminar, et cetera. So I would love to keep this ball rolling to, just to continue to offer people this support um, on a weekly basis, as well as to encourage people to develop their own daily or somewhat daily sitting practice. So that's where the real benefit from meditation and, of course, mindfulness comes in, because mindfulness is the practice, as I've said plenty of times, of being really aware of what's happening in the moment, um, not being lost in the thoughts and feelings that we're experiencing, but fully experiencing them and what our body and our minds are managing and what's going on around us all at the same time, so that we can provide more of a balanced response to what's going on in our environment. We have that moment of pause where we take a breath and we recenter ourselves, not diminishing our feelings in any way, but actually opening ourselves up to experience them more fully. So, with building that daily practice, it's really helpful to have a weekly check in, right? So, traditionally, any of and almost all the main religions have some form of reflective practice like this. If you notice, they tend to happen on a weekly basis, right? So, whether it's church on Sunday or Sangha throughout the week, or if it's temple on Saturday, there's a weekly gathering of folks who come together to practice. So, hence why midweek mindfulness every week is an opportunity to provide that support, as well as the process of how to learn how to do this and why it's so important, and then how to, really explore the different ways that we can we can really connect with ourselves. So whether it's belly breathing or whether it's insight meditation, where we really watch our thoughts and then look for the feelings that underlie those thoughts and learn to sit very patiently with them, and begin to really fully experience them, or whether it's really learning to discipline the mind, right? Coming back to the breath, back to the breath, back to the breath, or doing body scans where we're connecting with our bodies, but we're also coming back to our awareness, back to our awareness, back to our awareness, over and over and over again, to really build the strength of that focus muscle, right? As well as to really get in touch with our physical selves so that we can really be able to make a practice out of that. If you think how many times you've ever been really upset, or really excited about something, very often we lose track of what our bodies are experiencing. We're just caught up in the emotion and our mental experience of that emotion. So when we touch base and we get used to and accustomed to touching base with our body all the time, then when we have a strong or a powerful feeling, we can feel it far more exponentially if we're experiencing what our body is going through, how the mind and body are connected in that process, and then also how that is affecting those around us or how they are affecting us, right? So you get a much richer, much more complete experience, because we are very often in the Western world, we think of ourselves as just these rugged individuals who have to make it on our own. But by our very nature, we're community based, we're social. I always ask the students, I'm like, so if you left one human being on a remote island for long enough, how many human beings would be there? Right? Yeah, zero. But if you had the appropriate, right, sexes on an island, right, then all of a sudden the species can continue. So literally by our very nature, we are community based. And whether it's activating the breath, whether it's eating, whether it's drinking the water, we're constantly connecting to our environment as it sustains us and as we then give back and sustain it. So being really truly aware of that just makes life that much more fun and that much stronger. So I thought today, so reflecting on what happened at Mindful Mondays this past week, a lot of people are still dealing with really powerful thought processes, right? So their mind will latch a hold of an idea, right? Like the COVID cases are going up right now. And then their mind grabs that idea, COVID cases are going up. And then the next thought, right, is, or the response to that is then fear. So you have the neocortex and then the limbic system kicks in and fear emerges because that's a normal response, right? This is a threat to us. So we respond typically, which is, oh, this is a threat. So then the challenge becomes we start to extrapolate out into the future. Oh, what happens if I get it? Or what happens if someone I love gets it? Or how will I manage that situation? Or what is this going to do for work? Or how am I going to manage if I lose my job? Or what's going to happen if I lose my house? And then we've spiraled completely out of control. And we are no longer, our awareness is no longer the one guiding the process. It's just the thought feeling spirals that we get into that lead us to really, really difficult places. Right? And that is the significant foundation of most of our suffering, is that very process. So by having a really great anchor like the breath that we can drop into, it gives us a chance to anchor during those storms. And one of my favorite anchors, which we've done before in this group, I thought we would do again today, which is the gatha. The gatha is a poem, right? It's like a meditation poem that gives you some assistance with keeping your mind focused on your breath. Um, I know we've talked in the past about how the mind is, or our thoughts are like a river, right? They just pick us up sometimes and they just carry us downstream. They just carry us away, and that's okay, right? The thoughts are supposed to do what they're supposed to do, and those thoughts are our connection to the environment around us and our response to that environment. But it's helpful to be able to climb up out of the river and sit on the bank and watch those thoughts go by, so that we can really start to have a part of ourselves that's a little more objective in watching and being aware of, oh, well, I've had that thought plenty of times before and it never proved to be true. We'll just let that one flow on downstream, right? Or, hey, maybe that's important and that's something that I really need to pay attention to. Or, hey, here comes a feeling and that feeling is really supporting all of these thoughts, right? So that we just really get to learn and understand ourselves um, more deeply, more carefully. And so we're looking to build the strength of the observing mind so that we can, manage and watch our thinking mind a lot more carefully and a lot more easily. So the gatha is a perfect and wonderful way to manage that. So um, the gatha that I know that we're going to use is a meditation gatha. It's a meditation poem. This one was put together or written by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who left Vietnam during the Vietnam era. He created monasteries across Europe and in the United States. Um, a really powerful man. He's very old and very ill right now, but a really, really profound individual. But you don't have to be a Buddhist to use a gatha, right? Or to practice meditation or any of these other things. So um, this is a really pleasant one, and I think you'll really appreciate it. It just connects us with our breath and with the moment, and of course, with our thoughts and feelings in a different way. So go ahead and get settled into your meditation position. And I'm inviting you to try this, right? So if at any point along the way this feels strange or uncomfortable, it's not a problem at all, right? It's not a big deal. Just go back to following your breath and just coming back to the breath, back to the breath, back to the breath. Or maybe hold your own little body scan and connect with your toes and your feet and your heels, calves, your shins, your knees, just working the way through the body and really connecting with it. And either way, it's still the practice, right? And the practice is what makes us stronger in each and every opportunity we have to use it. So go ahead and get settled in. And I'm going to invite us to begin just by ringing the bell, which is always a nice way to start. Very different bell than the one we had in school that was so alarming. This one's nice and peaceful. So go ahead and just start by beginning to notice that you're breathing. Not controlling the breath in any way, just simply observing it. Noticing what your body deems necessary in this moment, at this time, as it works without any conscious control to take care of us each and every moment, each and every day. Just feeling the movement of the breath wherever you notice it the most easily today. And as you're breathing, just silently to yourself in your mind, just connecting each breath with a phrase. So the first phrase is, I know that I am breathing in. So we connect that to the first in breath. So as you breathe in silently in your mind, I know that I am breathing in. And on the out breath, I know that I am breathing out. So go ahead and give that a try. On the in breath, I know that I am breathing in. And on the out breath, I know that I am breathing out. On the next in breath, I calm my body and my mind. And on the out breath, I smile, breathing all the way out again. And then on the in breath, I dwell in the present moment. And on the out breath, I know this is a precious moment. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. I know that I am breathing out. I calm my body and my mind. I smile. I dwell in the present moment. I know this is a precious moment. And if it doesn't line up perfectly with how I'm saying it, just go with the flow of your breathing. Just go with the movement. And if you lose track of what you're supposed to be saying in the moment, just come back to the beginning. I know that I am breathing in. I know that I am breathing out. I calm my body and my mind. I smile. I dwell in the present moment. I know this is a precious moment. Go ahead and take a few breaths, just repeating those as you feel comfortable and as you're able. And if you struggle with remembering the lines, that's okay. No worries, no judgment. Just go with what you remember. And if it's helpful, I've put the words to the poem in the chat box. And now let's try just shortening it down as the mind begins to fall into the gentle mental discipline and stay focused on the breath and the words. We shorten them down just to a couple of words. So on the in breath, breathing in, breathing out, calming, smile, present moment, precious moment. In, out, calm, smile, present, precious. And if your mind has wandered or you're gone on a little journey in your mind, that's okay. No judgment. Just use the words to the poem to reconnect to your breath back in the moment. I know that I am breathing in. Know that I am breathing out. I calm my body and my mind. I smile. Dwell in the present moment. I know this is a precious moment. In, out, calm, smile, present, precious. Now, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and holding it at the top. And then a nice, long, slow exhale. Begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And I'll invite the bell to bring our time to an end. Hmm. And if it feels good, take a nice stretch. Yeah. As we come back to this space and back to our group. Hmm. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming out again this week. It's so good to see you all, or to be here with all of you. Take good care, and everybody have a wonderful week.